All right, so guys, this is problem number 7 out of 2.4, and it says the mean value of land and buildings per acre from sample farms is 1,500, with a standard deviation of 200. The data set has a bell-shaped distribution. Assume the number of farms in the sample is 73. Okay, so part A to this problem says, use the empirical rule to estimate the number of farms whose land and building values per acre are between 1,300 and 1,700. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do here, we know that our mean is 1,500, and we know that our standard deviation is 200. It's telling me that the data set has a bell-shaped distribution. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up the bell-shaped distribution with the standard deviation so we can get an idea of what's going on here, okay? So remember, the X bar is my mean, right? And the S is going to be my standard, deviation, okay? So I want you to notice that this first number is X bar, the mean, plus 1 standard deviation, and the one here is X bar minus 1 standard deviation, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to use this same sort of idea here for our particular problem. So I'm going to draw my picture, right? I'm going to do this number. Here's my bell-shaped curve. My X bar is my 1,500, okay? And we're looking at 1,300 to 1,700. Okay, so if I add 1 standard deviation, that's going to give me 1,700 because my standard deviation is 200, right? So if I add 200, now we end up with 17, right? If I subtract 200, then we end up with 1,300, right? So we know that from this particular graph, that each of those pieces represent 34%. So this is 34%, this is 34%. That's a combined of 68%. And we're finding 68% of the number of farms, which is 73. So I'm just going to take my calculator and multiply 0.68 times 73. So let me get my calculator going. It's right here. Let me clear that. 0.68 times 73. And it said something like rounded to the nearest whole number. So yeah, round to the nearest whole number is needed. So I believe our number was 49 and change, 49.64. We're going to round this number to 50, right? So that you can see that I'm doing this correctly. Let me pull it up here. Oops, where are we? Right here. So right here, guys, I'm going to type in the same number that I came up with, which was 50. And I'm going to submit it. There we go. Good job. Okay, now there is a part B, so let's do this part B. So let me come back here. Let me take a quick screenshot, and we will put the second part here, and we'll do this one too. Here we go. Okay. So part B says, if 24 additional farms were sampled, about how many of these additional farms would you expect to have land and building values between 1,300 and 1,700 per acre? Okay, so we're looking at these 24 additional. So we're just going to find 24. We're still going to find 68% of that. So 0.68 times 24. Let me get my calculator. 0.68 times 24. 16.32. And it's telling me to round to the nearest whole number. So it would just be 16. Let me submit it. And excellent. Okay, so if y'all got any questions, please let me know.